Hello and welcome to another episode of TriTalk. Today I'm sick. I have two of my fabulous friends joining me today, Scott Anderson and Isla Hedley, both joining us after their long travels from the US. Isla, welcome. How was your travel experience?
The travel was okay. It was really good racing, just a bit longer than I'm used to, but that's what you gotta do.
Any different for you, Scott? You seem to have lost your bike somewhere in the middle of Atlanta.
Yeah, quite a few people have actually. I think our flight was overbooked and it was so full that mine and Dominic's bike got left in Atlanta, and I heard Hannah's was there as well. But yeah, we got them in the meantime, so we're all good.
So the World Cup stop, or I guess is it a double header because there is a short track that we're going to be talking about, is obviously Oak Mountain. Uh, do we start with the women's short track because I think that's
First,
if not one of the most interesting races that happened. I mean, all of the racing seemed really interesting, but Isla, take it away. You were there. What was the course like, and what happened?
so the course, swim was quite straightforward. There was like an Aussie exit, but yeah, nothing too complicated in the swim. Really warm. That's one thing I was going to say. Like 25 degrees, so no wetsuits. The bike course had some technical bits in it, like a drop, a few punchy climbs, a little bit of flowy single track. Really fun actually. Although I did hear that one of the there was a one bit that had an A and a B line, and I heard that the B line was actually faster. Um, just
Really?
an interesting bit of course. Yeah, so the A line had a little bit of like a rock garden into a ditch, and the B line went around it basically. And yeah, Beeline was faster.
Was
I
fast? Sorry, was there like a beeline for the jump as well, or did they just
Oh,
force
there
everybody
was
to do it
there was,
quick?
but yeah, there was a Beeline for the jump, but
Okay,
there's a different bit where it split.
okay.
Um, and then yeah, the run kind of followed most of the bike course, just cut out uh, a section to make it two shorter laps. So
And
that's
how did you enjoy the drop on the bike?
well on race day it was fabulous actually. Well, actually, two of the times out of the three it was fabulous. On a third time, my foot did come unclipped, and there was a video of that. Bit spicy, not deliberate,
Very
but
scary.
did manage to hold it and not have any issues. And then the story before the race was on a Thursday, the day before the short track. I did actually crack my rim on the drop. Um, yeah,
You
so
did?
a bit of stressfulness. Um, yeah, I, I
Whoa.
I'm not really sure how it happened because there's not like any big rocks or anything on the landing. We've concluded that I was just going too fast. And yeah, it made a very nasty noise when I landed.
Oh,
Um,
nope. And you didn't crash or anything.
no crash. I just thought when I got to the bottom of the hill, then there was a puncture. Stopped to look at it, and there was the biggest crack I've ever seen.
Wow, that's strange. Scott, you've done more of the short track racing than Isla has. What type of course is this? Like, is it unique or is it similar to anything? Would you say?
I think all of the short track courses are pretty unique. They're not very comparable. I describe this course as like not just a short track course, also the full distance, but it's just like old school mountain biking. So there's hardly any purpose built features, with the exception of the this infamous drop that we've been talking about. A lot of it is just natural single trail. That's yeah. I guess old school mountain biking is probably the best description of it.
So is it
Um,
flowy or is there like much elevation?
um, I wouldn't say it's particularly flowy. There's a lot of like curvy single trail, but the curves and the corners are not flowy because they're not purpose built. They just happen to be there like that. So you actually have to take care about how you corner, and yeah, I guess good cornering skills pay off on this course. Um, What was the second question? I already forgot what you asked me in the first place.
I think you answered my question. I think so. Is this like the exact same course that was in Oak Mountain a couple years ago, when we still had like the live broadcast?
I believe so. That year I didn't actually get to race because I fucked myself up the day before.
Oh, right.
But I think it is the exact same course. Back then they didn't have this drop though. That was built for the race last year, I believe.
Okay. Okay, makes sense. But before we start with the racing, let's do the women's race first. Were there any stories in the race? Anything that stood out to you guys? Maybe if I'll try to delegate this so that this doesn't delve into total chaos since there's three of us on the podcast. But Isla,
There
is
is a
there any?
good story, but I think we'll let Isla talk about that when she explains what happened in the race.
Okay, Isla, go ahead.
Yeah. So, do you want me to just start from the beginning of the women's short track?
Do
Is that
whatever you want to do.
okay? So, for the women's, then some of the age groupers stepped up. So we actually had, I'm not sure how many were in the field, but it was more than was on the elite start list for the full distance. I think that was a good experience for them as well. Anyway, so swim, Em and I led out the swim, and were together for 2 laps of the bike. I think we had maybe like a 50 seconds to a minute on, I believe Hannah and Emma were riding together. And then, yeah, at the beginning of the third lap on the bike, then Emma had a rear flat, which was a shame. But no, I don't carry a CO2. I don't think people carry tools on a short track because by the time you've stopped and fixed it, your race is kind of over anyways. So yeah, that was kind of the big thing that kind of shook things up a little bit in the women's race.
Can I come in here with a question, because I, for one, we were there and we actually watched the race, and there was, you put in an attack, right? It was on the second lap, or was that on the third lap?
Well, I was mainly on the front, so I'm not really sure. Well, I think
Isla was just attacking on and off the entire time.
Yeah.
I think we did take a turn because Emma was in front of me when we realised she had a puncture. I was just trying to go hard the entire time, so not really thought about like, oh, I'm going to attack now. If you
Okay, because there was a section where you go out and you come back basically next to each other. So that's where I was standing, and it was just after this little like rock feature that would take you over the stream, then back up. And I think it was on the second or the third lap, and you seemed to just put in a bit of a gap on Emma, after you guys had put in a massive gap to the rest of the field. Like it was, yeah, probably at least a minute, if not more. But then by the time you came back around, Emma was just gone. So we figured something went wrong.
yeah. She did finish, but she had to obviously ride the last lap on a flat, so not much you can do. And then on the run, I did go quite hard on the first lap until I heard some people give me some splits, and then it's just racing a bit smart and a bit conservative because we were racing again on Sunday. Yeah, and that was kind of how the race went for me.
So you won just by racing off the front, and
Yeah,
Emma just kind of punctured.
it
So
was
kind of a
quite,
straightforward race for you, no?
yeah, compared to like the short track time in Weston Park, it was slightly shorter racing time as well. I think the bike course was maybe a little bit shorter than Weston Park. That's kind of one of the things that changes from course to course, just depending how big each lap was in different venues and things.
Yeah.
So I think I was racing for about 38 minutes, whereas in Weston Park it might have been like 48 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, I
So
think you're right. Yeah.
yeah,
Which is, and that's a huge difference, right? Like 10 minutes on like a relatively short course like this. Do you think it like kind of made a difference to your race as well?
it did feel quite short actually. Obviously it's in the name short track, but because it had a bit more elevation than Weston Park, then you could argue it's kind of similar in like how much it takes out of you, even though the time is shorter.
what is this? Sorry that I'm asking, but what is this story that Scott was alluding to?
Oh, that
Was
was
it
just the flat
was
that I
was it
had.
just the puncture?
Yeah, yeah.
But Emma must have been probably quite disappointed with that afterwards. No.
Yeah, I think she was really disappointed. Because I think because we had quite a big gap on the next group, Marta and Hannah, then she would have been able to pick up some good points, obviously, for the overall World Cup.
But let's talk about Marta and Hannah. So Marta and Hannah kind of came out of the water together, I guess, in well, it's hard to calculate exactly what position this would have been, but about 40 seconds down on you guys, right? But only 2 seconds behind each other. And then they ride together on the bike the entire time. I was like, who is
Yeah,
Hannah Young? What is she
yeah,
doing pulling here with Marta Mendito? And then Marta obviously puts down an incredible run. I think it's the fastest run on the day, even I think 15 seconds faster than you.
mhm.
But then Hannah is like the same time almost as her. It's like 15, it's the same time as you on the run. Where did this come from? I mean,
Yeah, she was running really well all weekend. Um,
ridiculous. I mean, just like I know the women's field here sadly isn't like particularly deep, but the top three, four positions. I mean, Emma, you, Marta, and Hannah. They're ridiculously strong, all of you. It's
I
very
think
well fought.
I think it really
Well,
helps short track riding with other people because it helps you to push each other, and you can take some turns um, where there's like
Yeah.
space. Yeah.
yeah, and what you also have to consider is in Western Park. I don't know if we've talked about this, but Hannah actually rode with Marta in Western Park already,
Yeah.
so they raced together there.
But we've never seen a run like this from Hannah, and that has always been kind of her weakness, is for run, in my eyes. And so to run 15 seconds slower than Marta on a short track course is nuts, in my opinion. Like, that's a huge step up. I mean, she's shown step ups in Weston Park. She was there and competing with some of these best women, but this is just another step up that she's made, clearly, in my opinion. Hannah, I hope you're listening to us, and I hope you're proud of yourself. um, but fourth place goes to Katja Kren. Also, a very good performance. Katja, we haven't seen her too much on the Xterra circuit in the last couple of years. I think she's studying in the US now. Uh, I think second fastest run on the day, so very good. Astrid Tardy, probably, French athlete, in fifth. Amanda Felder, American champion, in sixth. Lorena Errol, always consistent. I can't believe Lorena and Sebi went to the races in Oak Mountain. That's actually quite surprising.
Well, they
Harriet,
didn't. It was just Lorena.
really? Sebi didn't come
Yeah.
up?
No.
Really?
Yeah, he has to work.
Holy wow!
He's got a big boy job now.
Yeah, but he's had a big boy job the entire time, no?
I believe he was working part-time before, but he's on full-time now.
Ah, okay. Well, still very good for Lorena. Harriet Haywood, her first top 10 in an elite women's field. Emma de Kroon, ninth. Obviously, she'll be quite disappointed with that bike split. And the 10th place goes to Leah Roberts, who was an age grouper, actually. So, really good racing, especially at the top of this ranking. Okay, Scott, how did the race go? What happened in the men's race?
Yeah, so we had was the same as the women's race. They filled up the field with some of the youth and age group athletes because it's just not that many elites that were racing there. I obviously can only tell you what was happening around me. I think like the swim was quite hectic because the start. So this is unique to Oak Mountain, right? They have like a very narrow start pen. So we actually had, I think, 2 or 3 rows of people behind each other. So a lot of the American youths are good swimmers. I think there's a guy, Luke Wright or something is his name, that was first out of the water last year. I don't know where he was this year. But obviously these guys were trying to get from the back to the front, so it was there's a lot of fighting going on. And then there was an American that was first out of the water, but it wasn't Luke Wright.
It was Luke Wright.
Oh, was it?
He was first out
Okay.
of the water by like quite a bit. I think 15 seconds or something. He was the
Really?
only guy
Okay.
to go under 5 minutes. Really impressive.
Right.
18 to 19-year-old.
Yeah, he's a good swimmer, and he was in, I believe, second row. So he got over a heap of people to get first out of the water, which is, that's pretty much what was happening. You were just like bashing people left and right,
Pulling off a foot.
Yeah, well, that's how it is.
How dirty was it? How dirty was the swim? Not as in like the water, but how dirty was the swim?
No, I wouldn't say it was dirty. It's just, that's what happens. The distance to the first buoy is quite, it's not that far. There's a lot of people. It's a short swim, so everyone goes balls to the wall. That's just how it is, dirty.
Was it any different?
For me, then it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, because you swim off the front.
So, maybe at the beginning a few like taps on the legs, but nothing as bad as the things I've experienced in road triathlon. So it's quite nice actually.
Okay, so nice little dip in the lake, led by Lucas Wright. Then onto the bike. What happened, Scott?
On the bike, I mean, it was, I think around me it was a bit spread out, so it's not a formation of massive groups. I was out with Morgan, Rhodes, Steve Croucher, I believe Harry Wiles would have been there. And then
Tom maybe not too far behind. I think 20 seconds off.
I think Tom wasn't too far behind out of the water, but then he lost some time because he dropped his swim cap and he had to go back, pick it up and take it with him because they're very strict on littering.
Ooh.
So I'm not sure what happened on the front, but I then tried to get away from all of those guys on the trails, which seemed to work. I knew that Morgan's a very strong runner, so I was hoping to put some distance into him on the bike. And I think I managed to get about 30 seconds or something.
Yeah.
Which ultimately wasn't enough. I think I was in fifth at some point on the bike. I got overtaken by Nicolas Duray, then I was in sixth, and then Morgan overtook me on the second lap of the run, 50 meters before the finish.
Oh, no.
And I ended up in seventh. But I think he did put in the fastest run split of the day. So
split with Nicolas Duray, like absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, it was a tie.
Fuck?
Yeah.
I mean, Morgan Rhodes, how is he the fastest runner in XTERRA? This makes absolutely no sense.
Well, he was the fastest runner at the short track in XTERRA UK as well. So
yeah, but how is this a consistent trend that's popping up? I mean, the UK is just such a different course to everything else. This makes absolutely no sense.
He just runs really fast. I mean,
what the hell?
They must have done something right over the winter.
I'll fill in what happened at the front. So out of the water, obviously Lucas Wright led the pack, but there was kind of a big pack behind him, roughly separated by always 2 seconds between each of the athletes. Reed Legg, a young American triathlete who maybe we don't know too much in the world of XTERRA, although I think we did give him a shout out on the comms at the World Championships last year. He was out of the water. Bonacina was a little bit in front of him. Between them, Federico Spinazzi, and I think Maxime Chanet was also very close. So kind of a big group of favorites. But Reed just absolutely took off on the bike. And he had by far the fastest bike, I think 30 seconds faster than Nicolas Duray. And Nicolas Duray is, somebody who's won XTERRA France, which is just a ridiculously hard mountain bike course. And he's always one of the fastest, run bikers on the field. So, and then he holds on the run. He fades a tiny little bit, loses 10 seconds to second place, but wins by 50 seconds for such a young, I think he's an under 23 athlete. To win in this fashion is really ridiculous. So first place for him, second place for Nicolas Duray, really strong run by him. Michele Bonacina, I think, I love to see this. Again, third place. Great to see him putting a result on the board. Maxime Chanet, 15 seconds behind Michele. Maybe Maxime will have been a little bit disappointed. I mean, coming all the way to the US, I don't think he would have been looking for fourth place, but although maybe he wouldn't have been focused too much on the short track. And Federico, fifth, quite good for him, I think. Like good company up there. And Morgan Rhodes, six. I mean, again, I've expressed my opinion about this. This makes absolutely no sense. Like this just breaks the
It
laws
sounds
of
like you're giving him shit, really.
this breaks the laws of physics. He's just flying at the moment. Scott Anderson in seventh. Lucas Wright, the 18-year-old, in eighth. Tom Fisher ninth, and oh gosh, Loic Menu in 10th. I probably butchered that name. My apologies. Let's move on to the women's race of the short track of the long course. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I love what happened. You were there.
I was there. It was roasting hot on Sunday. Yeah, swim. So the swim start was slightly different. We were starting in the water rather than diving in, so that was just a little like difference between the two races. We had 3 minutes between the women's and the men's, and then after the women had done one lap, then the age groupers started. So it was quite a good gap to mean that like we weren't getting swamped by people either on the bike course or like the back end of the swim. Yeah, just took the swim out pretty hard. Try and stretch it out. I think by not wearing wetsuits, then that can kind of not be as good for people who aren't strong swimmers. So I was hoping to maybe like challenge people a bit more by trying to push for a bigger swim gap. I can't exactly remember how much it was in the end. I think Emma was maybe 20-30 seconds behind me coming out of the water. You might, I don't know if that's the splits on that.
I think Emma was 40. It's quite a big gap, actually.
Yeah, because apart from like the Australian exit, you don't really know where other people are because you're kind of focused on sighting for the boys in front rather than looking around to see where other people are. And I have to say, when Emma jumps on my feet, she doesn't touch the feet, so I don't know if she's there or not. But no, so yeah, I had a little bit of a gap, so that meant I was a bit more relaxed in transition. Just make sure it's clean and everything, and onto the bike course, which started with like a longish 700 meter bit on the road before hitting a really nice bit of single track twisting through the woods, kind of similar to some of the parts in the short track. It was the one thing I had to say I found difficult was because there's so much single track, then it's hard to know kind of when to fuel because you always have to be on it, looking for lines and things. So it was just something that you kind of have to think about before doing this course. And yeah, and then hit the big long gravel climb. I got overtaken by one of the guys, so I tried to stick on their wheel, but it just kind of felt like I would blow up if I stayed on it any longer. So it was the first half of the bike course was quite, like I was quite alone. Couldn't really see anybody. But I have to say it was a very fun bike course. And then after I think it's called Blood Rock, did a bit further down that descent. But Blood Rock is really fun actually, quite technical.
What is this?
This is it's a rock garden. It has a few like drops and it's kind of a bit jaggy. And I have to say it's a bit sketchy going down in just a tri-suit and like a road helmet. Like if I was riding a normal, I'd probably want knee pads and like an enduro bike or something. But it's
Is that
fun.
why it's called Blood Rock?
Probably, but it's fun to have features like that in XTERRA. It makes it a bit more challenging, a bit more mountain biking-ish. Well, a lot more mountain biking-ish than say like some of the other courses on the circuit. And and yeah, tests people's descent abilities. Whereas I find a lot of the courses just like who can push out the most power in a climb. I mean, it's obviously a fragment of the entirety of the bike course, so you do need to be powerful, but just test you when you're pushing your limits, if you can keep your concentration and your nerve on a bit that's a bit more technical. Yeah, so part way down, further down the descent, then Marta caught up with me, and we kind of rode together for a little bit, but she actually ended up gapping me by about a minute, and then Emma also caught up with me, and then we rode the last probably 5-6K together into transition. I was honestly, I was kind of convinced I had a rear flat for the end part of the race. It just felt really soft, so I was like, it's better to ride a little bit more chill than not get a full flat. But then it just must have been in my head, or like soft rear suspension, because I got back, took my bike out of transition at the end, and there's nothing wrong with it. So that was a bit puzzling, but glad not to have a puncture because they're just awful. And yeah, on to the run.
So you were coming out of T2 in second place behind Marta.
So me and Emma were together. I
Yeah.
think I'm just like it was the same. And we could just about see Marta far down the road. I know in XTERRA, like people regularly catch up massive gap. And it's just often it's a mental game on the run because you might be chasing big gaps and can't necessarily see them. But for me, at least on Sunday, it was just about survival. I forgot to pick up my water bottle in transition 2, and so yeah, it was kind of dying on the run. It was so hot, but it was good to have some company actually to keep like the pressure on. And Marta had a really strong run again, and yeah, it was just growing out the gap. It was I actually quite liked. I liked the course. I like that type of terrain, and it wasn't too hilly. It was basically running on mountain biking blue trails for most of it. Kind of twisty, pine needles, a few roots and things like that. So it's not like on paper it's not one of the toughest courses. It doesn't have any huge hills or anything, but I think the heat, or at least for me, played quite a big part in the race on Sunday. Like
what temperature was it? Do you know?
I think it got up to like 31, 32 degrees.
Oh wow.
So yeah, pretty toasty coming from Scotland.
Yeah, totally. Same as Greece, no?
No, I think Greece 20.
Whoa.
Oh, really? Or maybe it was hotter than 31 or 32. It was boiling.
Yeah.
Yeah. The run course, it was, for me, it felt like everything looked the same. So there's one part where we crossed a bridge and I really thought we were near the end, and then we still probably had another, maybe even 4K, and it was just hanging on to the finish. And like at one point I did manage to get maybe 5 meters on Emma, and then she came back to me, and then I kind of like pushed on again, and then maybe held a little like 5-second gap or something. But because that had already happened, then I was like fully aware she might have more on her legs and be able to come back at me at the end.
Yeah.
But Hannah ran really strong. I think
we haven't talked about Hannah. She was super
if the
close.
course was a full 10K,
yeah,
like I don't know what would happen. I think it was about 700 meters short, just where the loop finishes. But no, I was very happy to see that finish line.
Well,
yeah.
so at some point I imagine you guys just must have not seen Marta because she finishes this race with over a 2-minute gap.
Yeah.
But
you didn't see
like
her
you
on the road.
when you guys came into T2, you guys must have had, I think, the same gap on Marta as you had on Hannah. So were you not aware of it? She was so close?
This is a course where it's kind of hard to get somebody around for splits just because of it's one trail. You can't really cut through,
Yeah.
give split. So we were kind of, for the first half of the run, we weren't really aware of Hannah coming up so fast. And I think it was towards the end, and I was like 30 seconds, and it was like, oh, like a bit of a surprise, but
Yeah.
a really good, very strong run from Hannah. And yeah, the sprint finish.
I mean,
Especially,
that sprint finish,
yeah.
that was just ridiculous. I mean, I don't know how upset Emma must have been afterwards. I feel terribly.
Mhm.
But whoa, what a sprint finish. I mean, so good.
Yeah, because you never really think about sprint finishes next year. It's more like, oh, we might have 30 seconds gap or bigger. Like, so
And
to
she just wanted it so
that, like,
bad.
coming down, I think the three of us were in like 10 seconds apart or something, or
Yeah.
less than that, I think.
8.
8. Yeah, it's quite exciting actually.
Yeah.
Afterwards, in the moment, it's a bit like stressful. Like, am I gonna get there or not?
Yeah.
But
She just came from behind that turn like an absolute rocket
I
and
know.
just
Well, I mean, fair play. Like, not giving up right towards the end, and like there is quite a lot on the line with points and prize money, and yeah, just frustrating for Emma, I guess.
but also Hannah had the fastest run by a minute.
Yeah,
What?
Australia.
How did that happen? I mean, Hannah has stepped up so much. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, it
I
was really impressive because I think we had maybe 3 minutes on her coming out of transition two. They're
ooh,
like,
I'm not so Hannah was getting out of the water. She would have been 3 minutes behind you.
yeah,
Then she had a bike which was 45 seconds slower than or faster than you. So yeah, 3 minutes 15, which is yeah, that's so far behind. And then she just ran so well,
yeah,
ridiculous. Hannah's gonna have a good time if she listens to this episode, I think.
yeah.
But yeah, I guess I'll round out the top 10. Emma comes in fourth. I think I
Hold
feel
on,
bad.
hold on, hold on. I want to put a question in here because Emma was wearing a shoulder thingy
Oh yeah,
after the
uh,
race, so somewhere something must have happened with a crash or something.
yeah. She had a crash on a bike and she hit a tree with her shoulder, and had to go to the paramedics. Um, we're not sure. I don't. We're not sure if it's broken. Or we don't think it's broken. But yeah, it looked pretty painful and it's pretty bruised. Um, hopefully it's nothing too serious and she's able to come back from Olveno. Um,
That
but yeah,
sucks.
they fair play for like keeping on going and pushing through. Maybe it's the adrenaline. Um,
Shout out Emma. I mean, what a warrior.
mm,
Oh, and I feel so bad coming fourth after all of that, after pushing through all that pain to not get the podium. I mean,
and
I can
having
understand.
not the best short track, uh,
Yeah,
puncture.
yeah. But again, I think let's shout out Marta here because Marta, you could see how much it meant to her.
Yeah.
Uh, she was just she. I think she's had so much competition this year from you, from Emma, and now surprisingly from Hannah as well. Like the four women, the four of you are just gunning for that top spot, and
Mhm.
so Marta absolutely had a dominant race here,
Yeah.
and so really nice to see her secure that.
She is so
Yeah,
strong.
yeah. I mean, wow, Marta, hats off. Isla, second place, great result. Hannah in third after that ridiculous sprint, beating Emma into fourth. Astrid Tardy again in fifth. That's a really good result. Amanda Felder, again American champion, in sixth. Katja Kren, seventh. Uh, again, very nice result for Katja after not having raced XTERRA too much. Lorena Errol in eighth. Harriet Haywood in ninth, and Brittany Schroeder in 10th. Let's move on to the men's race, shall we? Scott, this is your
I
time to
need a
shine.
second to unmute myself. Um, yeah, what happened in the men's race? I think there was a group that pushed out on the swim. That must have been with
Well,
Reed Leg.
Michaela led out of the swim.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it was Federico, Michaela, Reed Leg. Maxi must have been somewhere close.
Harry.
Harry Wiles was in there. Yeah, true. And then I think after that it was Morgan, me, Steve Croucher, and Brendan Rakita.
Yeah.
We had a very gentlemanly swim. It was very nice, quite pleasant and very relaxed. No fighting at all. I thoroughly enjoyed that, and so did Morgan.
Is that a joke? Did you and Morgan
No,
just punch each other to death?
no. It was very nice. We didn't touch each other at all. Brendan and Steve did most of the work, and we just sat in behind and had a nice pack going on. It was lovely. Yeah, and then we kind of all went out on the bike together. I managed to go first into the trail section that Isla talked about. Morgan was just a few seconds behind me somewhere. And then Morgan and me caught up together before the big climb and started riding together, and we caught Federico and Harry. I think Federico didn't really have a good day. He didn't seem as strong as he has been in some of the other races this year, and he rode with us. Yeah, and then we kind of finished off the bike, more or less together. There was, I think, 30 seconds to a minute gap or something in the end, because it's not great. Like, this course isn't great to ride in a group. Most of it, like, there's this big road climb or big fire road climb in the middle that is great for group dynamics, but all of the single trail is hard to overtake. You can't really like share leads in the front at all, and it's, I guess, also technical in a way that wouldn't really allow for massive groups like maybe the UK did. And anyways, I managed to go on the run in fourth. And then I got caught by Morgan, who again had the fastest run time of the day.
Ridiculous.
Continuing his trend. You should have seen him run past me. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. And then Nicolas Duray came from behind. He finished
strong run by him as well. Really nice.
Yeah. And I was as I saw him coming past, I was like, oh, will he be able to catch Morgan? But he didn't. So,
I mean, just to illustrate the difference here, right? Like, Duray had a really strong run here, but Morgan Rhodes was 2 minutes or a minute 45 faster than it. Like,
I do believe, though, that Nicholas backed off towards the end when he realized that he couldn't catch Morgan, because I was gaining back on him, and I don't think I could run as fast as him, not at all. So I think he must have realized that there was no way that he could catch Morgan, and there was enough space in the back that he could back off.
Yeah, maybe.
I believe, at least.
Maybe.
And then it was Maxime who won. Reed Leg was second.
Maxime rode with Leg with Reed. Do I call him Reed or Leg? Reed.
I don't know. Sorry, I think his name is Reed Leg.
Reed. Okay, so I'll call him Reed. So Maxime rode with Reed for the entirety of a bike. I think they must have dropped Michele by about only 10 seconds. So really nice. Although no, it seems like Michele was kind of there. With them, maybe dropped off just a little bit into transition. But then Maxime just had a stunner of a run. Reed, only 20 seconds slower than him. So he kind of deserved second place. And Michele also quite a nice run into third. Shout out to Maxime. I think his first XTERRA World Cup win since I can remember. I don't remember when he last won a World Cup. honestly.
Well, I don't think he was. He didn't race last year because he was injured.
Yeah, and the year
Um,
before that, I don't think he won anything. So maybe we'd be looking at 2021.
I don't think
Wait.
there was a World Cup in 2021.
Yeah, he didn't. He hasn't won a World Cup, so this is his first World Cup win, which is insane. I mean, Maxine's been on the podium or been on the circuit for so long. He finally gets a win on the board. So very impressive by him. I'd love to see that after so much time spent with the sport. Reed again, incredible in second. Michele third. Morgan Rhodes continues his incredible performances in fourth. Nicolas Dure fifth. Scott Anderson sixth. Really nice by Scotty, I think. We'll get back to that in a second. I want to ask you how happy you are with that. Harry Wiles in seventh. Uh, Loic Menu, I think. Isla, is that correct? You study French.
That's as good guess as mine, yeah.
Yeah, okay. In eighth, Tom Fisher. I was going to say my favorite is Australian, but I can't say that. In ninth, and
And
Federico
they
Spinazza in
sprinted.
10th. They sprinted.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I saw Tom and Loic. They sprinted it out.
oh, by 2 seconds. Yeah, I didn't see the coverage of that. Was there any coverage?
I don't know. I don't think
Yeah.
so. Do you know what I actually saw on the run course? So, well, it doesn't really matter where it was. It was about 2K from the finish. I was running on a bit of single track, and there was nobody there in front or behind me that I could see. Because I was all on my own. And I was gonna jump over this log kind of thing. There's something that was lying on the trail, and as I was jumping over it, I realized it was a massive rattlesnake that was like the back end of it was just hanging out of the bush onto the path. It was
Oh
about
no.
this, like it was
What?
massive. Yeah, and I didn't even realize what it was until I was actively jumping over it, and I was like, "Oh Jesus! Oh shit! Oh fuck!"
Oh no.
Yeah, I don't think anybody else has seen it, so I must have buggered off after that. But yeah,
Maybe you're just hallucinating.
no, it was definitely there.
I was definitely hallucinating on the run. It was so hard.
Jeez. Oh, that's terrifying. Oh, that's not good. Uh, but overall, are you happy, Scott? Because this is a really nice result for you in sixth here.
Yeah. Well, I'm German, so I can't be happy. I can only be disappointed if I don't perform. Um,
75 points for you, which is
yeah.
also quite nice. Like the multiplier coming in hand here.
Yeah, exactly. See, what we could talk about here is why is Arthur Farissier not racing? Because he was clearly chasing the World Cup, right?
Yeah.
So it would make sense for him to come to a race like this where there's not that many elites anyways, so great opportunities for him to get a win potentially, and it would even get him more points because it has the multiplier in.
Yeah. What are the exact rules? Can you guys recap that? Because so you there's a certain requirement about which championships you have to race. So what's the rule
Yes,
there?
so to be eligible for the World Cup prize money, you have to race two out of the three continental championships. So you have to race two out of Australia, North America, and Europe, which is Molveno.
Yeah.
Um, you also have a joker, which means that your worst full distance and your worst short track result will be um, taken out of your score. So I believe he would have maybe chosen this race as his joker. Um, but I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me from a tactical point of view. And I believe he was originally on the start list, so he must
He
have
was. Yeah.
intended to race this race at the beginning of the season. So I don't really know what happened.
Same with Sullivan. He was also on the start list, and we shouted him out for predictions, but didn't work out.
Yeah, but he's not chasing the World Cup, so I can
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I think what probably happened, to speculate here, um, he's done the qualification, right? The criteria. He thinks he can continue to get really good results, Uh, and he just doesn't care to go to America because there's no coverage. He's already been to Australia. He wanted to go to Australia, didn't want to go to America. Maybe it was something that he couldn't get a flight or something, but that's maybe what I would guess.
Hmm.
But maybe I'm
I don't know.
speculating.
I'm just
Maybe
thinking like North America would be way easier to get a heaps of points than to try and race Morveno, which has, I believe, like
Oh
50
yeah,
elite men on the start list.
yeah. But if you're, there's a huge difference if you're mid pack versus like in the top five, like our tour is going to
True.
be, right? So if you're in the top
Not that I would
five,
know any of that.
if you're in the top five, it kind of like consistency is obviously really important. I'd say maybe more important than for somebody like you. Like if you're in the middle pack and you can go to one of these big races to get a good result, I think that's much more valuable for you. But I like you were going to say something.
I was going to say maybe Arthur was watching Felix at the 70.3.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Uh, yeah, I guess we could. I'll mention that at the end of the show. I don't know where Artur was. I don't know where Sullivan was. I would have loved to see the two of them battle it out. I wonder how they would have gone against Reed because Reed was flying on that course. But this changes the standings of the World Cup, right? Because Michaela's leading now. Like Artur dropped by 3 places from first to fourth,
Mhm.
and so
I think,
Michaela has a fancy lead.
yeah, I was going to say, I think the points are going to be quite interesting because you're not actually going to know until the end of the series. Whereas last year, because there's no jokers, then you could kind of you work out all the points, and it was well for the women last year it was pretty clear by the end like how the results were going to go. But yeah, it makes it a bit more exciting.
So right now, for me, Artur, although he's in fourth place, he's kind of the clear favorite for me. The only guy, I think, obviously, Michele has about a 70-point lead on him, 80-point. Although maybe I'm mad at math, 90-point lead on him. Uh, I think having seen the level from Artur this year, I think I just kind of expect him to be a little bit more consistent than maybe Michele. I hope Michele is able to turn it around, but it just hasn't been his season so far, I think. Um, so I think, although it could come back to bite him in the butt, I'm not sure it will just yet. I think he can take the gamble. And on the women's side, Marta is leading by 60 points ahead of Emma, so that's quite nice for her. Nobody's really been skipping there, so that's an interesting dynamic that's unfolding, like the difference between the two races. But anything else we should mention from the weekend of racing?
I just want to mention something to highlight how much faster Reed Leg has gotten because I've just pulled up his results. He was in Morveno last year and he was 19th in the short track and 24th in the main race.
Yep.
And now he's winning the short track and getting second in the beating the Italians or beating Michele in the full distance.
Yeah, but also he is American, so there's no time zone difference for him. I think that helps.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know.
You don't think so? Because
I don't think it.
when did they arrive, the Italians?
Sometime in race week,
Okay. So
but
do you think they had time to adapt?
I don't know. Surely there's a little. There might be a little influence that has. I just wanted to highlight
Yeah.
how much faster this guy has gotten.
Yeah. I think that's all. We'll wrap it up. I will mention at the end of the show that in Aix-en-Provence, I don't want to get this right. So Felix Fourzier was. So we had Solène, Arthur, Jens, and Felix racing. Uh, Felix came sixth in the overall race, which was kind of ridiculous. I expected the guys to do really well, but for his debut, six was nuts. Jens 15th. I think maybe a little bit unhappy with his result. I don't know what happened to Artur. He DNF'd in T2. I know he put up a picture on Instagram, but I didn't see what it was. And for women, Solène, she was third coming into T2, but then obviously she's been injured. She has an injured foot or something, so she hasn't been running too much, but she came 9th. So very strong by all the XTERRA athletes showing themselves on the road. I think that's all. Anything else we want to sign off with, Isla, Scott?
No. Prediction for Morvenna, is it going to be wet?
Scott, what do you think?
So if you look at the weather data, Morvenna has more rain in June than it has in September.
So you think it's going to be wet?
Yeah.
Who's going to win?
I haven't seen the start list, so I have no idea.
Off the top of your head.
It always says it's unconfirmed at the moment.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Isla, who do you think's going to win?
Well,
not allowed to say yourself.
Is Ali making a comeback to the World Cup? We don't know. So,
do we know when she does?
No.
Ooh. Okay, maybe we'll do a little bit of an episode before this because it's just too soon. I don't know if she'll be able to. Like, I think she'll be on your level, on your guys' level. Like, having had so much time off, I don't see her being above. Maybe it's arrogant, but I think. Anyway, that's enough. Thank you so much for listening.
We can have another preview episode in the week before Morvenna, and then we'll have another half-hour discussion about what the right tire choice would be.
That sounds fantastic. Scott, thank you so much.
Victoria.
Thank you so much for taking the time. Isla, thank you so much for taking the time. And thank you guys very much for listening. We will see you in the next one. Ciao, ciao.